So today we're going to be trying out the newest version of OpenPilot, which is 0.8.2. I just installed it, and right now I'm running the calibration process. It's currently at 60%, just asking me to drive normally at speeds above 50 miles an hour. Now, the reason why I did have to redo the calibration is because apparently this is supposed to be a new model, or it's going to have some changes to how the car drives, and so it's usually best to have that reset. So the calibration's already finished, and now we're just entering the highway. So I'm going to set my cruise control on. I mean, this isn't the speed I want to continue at, but it is what it is, and so I'm just gonna turn on OpenPilot now, pressing the set button. Got a slowdown happening over here, making pretty good distance in front. Person behind me kind of got really close. Just got cut off. You can't really see it on the screen, but the cut-in detection worked just fine, and it was able to slow down in time instead of like speeding up to that car that just cut in front of us. Yeah, as you see, it's pretty bumpy and the roads aren't the best, but OpenPilot's doing a really fantastic job of actually just staying on the lane. So in the previous versions, it actually would have taken that exit, but they've done some really good work in avoiding exits like that. So as you can see, it's taken an exit, but I wanted to take this exit. It's just following the car in front, and I just stayed in the same lane. But I will actually initiate a lane change now, because I will be taking this exit coming up. Just a simple nudge, and oh, it's a little late. Maybe I was going too fast, I don't know. But going around this bend here, just following this other RAV4. The turning characteristics, I mean, I wouldn't turn the way it does, but I mean, Comet has said that in the future, the majority of the changes are going to be making after 0.9 or even later stages of 0.8 are going to be just for tuning in general. So I'm assuming that's going to be for how the car turns, and I mean, they are already supporting over like 90 or 80 vehicles already, so I'm sure they can't tune it for all the cars, especially when they don't actually have the staff to do so, or the number of, or to actually own the cars to do so. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay in this lane. Actually, I'm not gonna go. Ooh, all right. You see, OpenPilot actually followed that car after it cut me off. They thought that was where the lane was gonna go, but I mean, that can't be helped. That's just another reason why we do need autonomous driving, to avoid driving behaviors just like what we saw there. Yeah, so right now I could actually put the speed a little higher. Totally forgot to fiddle with that. I mean, I would love it if Comet did actually start implementing more longitudinal control, but I mean, that's going to be a lot of work ahead, but so far, like, just actually manually setting the speed is good enough. I'm not going to stay on the highway. I'm actually going to go into this expressway because I want to test out the stop and go feature. I'm hoping they'll be hitting some stop and go traffic when I get on here. The reason why I bring that up is because in the previous version, for cars like mine, this is a 2020 RAV4 with a TSS2, and it's also a hybrid, so it has like funky braking behaviors. And in previous versions of OpenPilot, I actually experienced this phenomenon called, hold on, let's see if it's going to slow down for this or not. And it did. Please don't follow him. Okay, good. You kind of hugged the left there a little bit. That's a little funky. More tuning has to be done in the future. But going back to my point about wanting to test this stuff. Ooh, why are we... Oh boy, there's some regressions in lane keep for this thing. Alright. Don't follow. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is going to be kind of a fail video, I think. Definitely a lot of hugging happening. Again, this is 8.2 just came out, and so, I mean, it is in its infancy, but that was some very obvious regressions there, in my opinion. I'm gonna have to brake here. Oh, never mind. They had their own lane. Resume that now. Well, anyways, going back to what I was saying, my car experienced double braking and creep, and so what it meant is that whenever there was a lead car in front of me and the car stopped, it actually braked and then let go of the brake and then moved forward, like sometimes a full foot, and then braked again. And then in the worst instances, it actually didn't brake. It just basically crawled at like 1 inch per second, and I would have to actually disengage by depressing the brake pedal. Probably had the speed set way too high for this expressway, but it's behaving well enough. It's not too far off the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, and we'll likely run up on this lead car here and settle into the actual pace of the traffic. I usually get stopped at all these lights here, but I'm guessing I have a lucky day, quote. Well, oh, let's see what's gonna happen here. Will it see this in time? The collision alarm turned on, obviously. We got some jackasses driving over there. And oh, I'm gonna just give this little nudge in this intersection. Alright. So normally I hit stoplights here constantly, and let's see if that's going to be the case. It looks like it is stopped, even though there is a green light. Let's see how this reacts. Okay, it is a stoplight. So here it is. Normally my car will approach the lead car that stopped, and it will brake and then brake again. Hold on, this guy is leaving an interesting gap in front of him, but he stopped, so let's see what happens. Oh, now he's going, so we can't test it. Let me test the double brake, my friend. Okay, he's fully stopped now. Well, I mean, there was no double brake right now. This is not double brake because the lead car did move forward, and now I'm stopped again, and yeah, I'm not getting any creep. It only braked once, so that actually is a huge improvement personally, because again, I did have a car that was affected by double braking creep, and so this just means that whenever I'm in stop and go traffic, I really don't have to actually interfere with the car. I can just kind of let it be, let it do its thing, and just follow the lead car in front. So that was going to be a huge plus. They implemented that fix at the later stages of 0.81, but it is now fully in 0.82. I still need to read up more of what they changed in 0.82. Apparently it was supposed to be centering in lanes better, but we've already witnessed it perform fairly poorly in those few instances prior. So we'll see about that. And again, I'm not doing any gas or brake right now. It's all just controlling the car. Now, normally I should just take over here, because I'm just gonna let it I'm gonna take over right now because I shouldn't have actually blocked that intersection. That was my bad. This place always gets busy, and that's kind of why I wanted to come here to test this. I'm going to be in stop and go anyway, so I might as well just activate comma right now and let it handle this portion. I'm going to put the speed up to 40, let's do 45. Just pressing my cruise control speed buttons. This looks like it's going to start moving soon though. Alright. Ooh, stop. Okay, but I had to actually engage this because once he leaves, the car would have just gone forward, and that's not what we want. So far, love the fact that the stop and go has been fixed, but those instances where it was veering into the left side of the lane, and I think I actually heard my tires going over the little reflectors on the lane markers, so that is not good. I will likely create a bug report on the GitHub for it, or maybe I'll just give it some time. I'm not sure. Again, this update literally was just pushed, I want to say, an hour ago, and on this branch or fork or whatever you want to call it, they do update it like pretty frequently. It's a master CI, and it is where a lot of the testing happens. I'm the one actually pressing the gas right now. I'll just probably do it until we get to the highway. Going in this little loop here. Bring myself up to speed. RAV4 hybrid performs pretty well. I mean, for a car that's not really performance oriented, I have absolutely no complaints of how fast I can accelerate. Yeah, right now we're at almost 70 miles an hour. Just moved over a lane here, and I'm gonna set the comma on, and yeah, let's see. So normally actually in these straightaways, and when they introduced 0.8, I did get a lot of like wandering in the lane, and it seems like it's good now, so maybe there was some improvement on that end. But what I should test right now is the assisted lane change, because that was a huge problem at 0.8. I can test it right now. That's actually an interesting place to test it. I guess I should have done it in the curve, but ooh, there's a motorcycle there. Let's do it after this Lexus passes us. So I'm gonna initiate the turn by the turn signal, give it a nudge, should move over, person moved over with me, and then I'm gonna stop the turn signal. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. After this little commotioning happening here, I'm gonna move over again. So I'll just move over right now. Actually, I'm gonna turn signal, shove it over. It's moving on its own. It sees that car in front of me already, so it slowed down. And again, that wasn't too bad. I've had instances where I've changed lanes and it would completely move over, and sometimes almost bring me into the shoulder. So that is better. Alright, there's the cut-in prediction working there. And I'm not sure if this truck is waiting for me to accelerate, because I mean, this is the following distance that comma places. Personally, I don't mind it, But I know that there have been users who are very much up in arms about how far it does follow. Again, personally for me, I don't mind it. I'm essentially in Uber passenger mode right now, so like I don't really care. So it just turned there, and it kind of did like a late correction. And that's what I've been finding with 0.8 is that it almost feels like it's like constantly closing its eyes as it's turning, and so it's just like, oh whoops, oh whoops, oh whoops, and it's not the most confidence inspiring. But it does so many other things well though, like the cut-in detection and not taking the exits. It's doing those things really good. Clear lane here. I'm actually going to move over. Let's see if we can get a gap. I might have to take over because this might be a little tight. Okay, I'm just going to do this automated change really quick, but I will have to disengage and get behind this person here. Technically just restart right now. And normally I have to slow down manually for this curve, but since we are going to be following someone, it should handle it fairly well. I mean, this is going to be where like the tuning for specific cars is going to be good, because I mean right now that took it fairly well, but there have been moments where it's going around a bend and it is just turning like pretty awful. How about that? Alright, now I want to get out of this lane, so I'm going to do a lane change again to the shoulder track, stop the signal, and then there it goes. So it is still like, it almost feels like it just has like too much momentum and it wants to just keep going, and then it just reacts too late to actually center itself. So I really wish it would work on that. I mean, I'm not a programmer, I don't know how to code, I don't know how to do the tuning, so I mean, that's all out of my hands, and all I can do is sit here and just essentially talk about it. Much to report here. I think even the stock TSS2 system might be able to handle this fairly well, but I don't know about this bend. But I mean, this is like a cakewalk for OpenPilot to perform. Just getting my hands ready to save it just in case it does veer into that other car. Yeah, but just following along nicely to this lead car. Currently this lead car is going at like 60 miles an hour. My max speed right now is at 71, but it's following pretty well. I will move us over after these freeway entries and then take another exit soon. Do that right now, so this could be interesting because it's going to be during a bend. So initiated, nudge, turn off. Oh, it's not centered. What you doing, buddy? Ah, that was terrible. But I mean, I did tax it. That was a curve. I made it do a lane change. I will say though, it's been a while, but I think 0.1 was able to handle that situation. So who knows? I'll just continue testing this 0.82 build. Hopefully they'll have some improvements with it, but so far it's not that much better than 0.8. And the double brake and creep fix, that was, I don't think it's really related to any improvements to the driving model of 0.8 at all. I think it really was just some tuning or some parameters they had to change that could probably could have been done in 0.71. So now we're actually approaching this bend over here. Normally we're coming from the freeway at pretty high speeds, and luckily we do have a lead car that will help determine how fast we need to be going through it. Otherwise I would have had to actually brake and take over, or actually just then smash my my speed down buttons on my steering wheel over here. But with the lead car, it handled that pretty well. In the past, my car would always take this exit. Let's see if it'll take it today, because it might follow that guy. No, so that's one great thing about 0.8 is, again, it does a pretty good job of handling. I have to stop for this. This ain't gonna happen. That can't be helped though. Well, I guess it could be helped if we did have more cameras, because I don't believe the comma was able to see that car or anticipate that there was going to be a merging of lanes. But I'm not going to fault comma for that, because that situation's just hard to